Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is a collaboration with the lovely Bianca Tarot. So I love Bianca Tarot's channel. I've been watching it for quite a while. She has a lot of celebrity readings on there, which I enjoy watching, and she also does pick a cards which have been super accurate for me. So I'm super excited to do this collaboration. So thank you, Bianca Tarot, for approaching me with this idea because I'm super excited. So in this collaboration on my side of the channel, I'm going to be doing what makes people fall in love with you. So we're going to be taking a look at what is it about you that makes people fall in love. And if you don't feel that you've been in a relationship where you've fallen in love with someone and they've fallen in love with you, then we could be looking at future energies as well. It doesn't just have to be past energies, it can be future energies too. And then over on Bianca's channel, she's going to be doing what is it about you that makes people inspired by you. So I'm gonna have the link to Bianca's channel in my description box, as well as the link to her video, so you can watch the second part of the collaboration over there. And yeah, let's get straight in. So I have 4 piles for you guys to choose from. Pile number 1 is the Caribbean Blue Calcite. Pile number 2 is the Rose Quartz Point. Pile number 3 is the Orange Calcite. No, it's not. I'm lying to you. It's amber. I don't know why I said Orange Calcite then. I think it's just because it's orange. This is amber for pile 3. And then for pile 4, we have turquoise. So see which crystal you are drawn to, or if you want to see the images on the cards, you can do it that way as well. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what it is about you that makes people fall in love with you. You guys chose the Blue Caribbean Calcite. I'm going to place this up in the corner. I'm going to get straight in. So I'm going to move this card to the side a minute, just because I want to pull tarot first and then look at this card as the start of your oracle cards. So I'm going to place this down the bottom by here for now, and we're just going to start with tarot, and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So spirit guides, can you tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s, please? Tap me into the collective of my pile number 1s. What is it about my pile number 1 that makes people fall in love with them? I'm hearing Billie Eilish's song Ocean Eyes, so I feel like you guys, you know when they say like eyes are the window to the soul, there's something about your eyes. Now I'm hearing glassy. You could have very glassy eyes. Again, with the song Ocean Eyes playing, you could have very blue eyes. But when we think of the ocean as well, we think of like depth. So it doesn't even have to be that you have blue eyes, but you just have like intense eyes or very deep eyes. I just feel like there's a genuinity about you that comes through. And it just reminded me of, you know, when you just look at an animal, and like anyone who has animals, you'll know, like you look at dogs, you look at cats, you look at birds, you look at any animal, and they don't have to say anything. I mean, they don't physically say anything in our language, but you just can see in their eyes their intentions. Like you can just see in their eyes that purity. And I just feel like you do possess that, and it shows through your eyes. I feel like you're someone that makes people feel very safe. And I think that's something that makes people fall in love with you, is like, you know, this world, as you guys probably know, it's really hard to find genuinity. It's hard sometimes to, you know, when we're looking on the news and we're seeing people and everybody's moving based off of maybe their own triggers, or, you know, their own inner compass that maybe garnered maybe towards power and success, and maybe not towards, you know, heartfelt matters and things like that. And when we do find a real one like that, when we do find someone that's very genuine, we want to hold on to them. And there's almost a feeling of like, I feel like to fall in love with you, it's just that genuinity. It's like that resonance of like Mother Gaia and animal that animals have. It's that purity that comes from you. It's a very angelic essence that comes from you that I just feel makes people fall in love with you, pile 1. It's like you feel like home, you know. Like I always, because I struggle sometimes like to connect with people, and when I have like animals, like I always say, especially with my cats, like I don't have to put a mask on like, 'cause sometimes I'd mask to go out to the world to like be something. You don't have to put a mask on and be something, or have that small talk. Like with animals, they just accept you for you. You don't have to be anything, you know what I mean? That's why they're such good companions, because you just have to be yourself. And I feel like you give off that energy with someone where it's like, I don't have to pretend to be anything to be around you. I don't have to do anything to catch your eye. I don't have to play these games. I don't have to pertain to an ideology that you want me to have. All you want, or at least all I feel you want, is like authenticity, and I can be my authentic self with you, and that's where a true connection will lie, and that's where people fall in love with you. You just have that safe feeling about you, you know? So pile number 1, what makes people fall in love with my pile number 1s? What makes people fall in love with my pile number 1s? Oh, one of my hairs. I was gonna blame one of the cats then, but that's not the cats, that's my hair. We have the Queen of Wands, and we have the Four of Swords. I'm gonna use 3 cards, I think, 3 tarot cards. Queen of Wands, Four of Swords. Oh, another card just popped out, the Sun. We have the Sun as well. Love that. Okay. Yeah, I feel like you are a source of light to people. There's such a genuine feel to you. Let me just get the back of the deck. We have the Seven of Swords at the back of the deck. I feel like, and this is nothing to do with the reading, so I'm going to keep this part a little bit short. I do feel that you do have a very strong healing nature, and with the Seven of Swords being at the back of the deck, I do kind of feel, let me make sure that's focused, because my cameras are hard time focusing for me sometimes. I don't know why. I feel like because of your genuinity and because of your light, I feel like you have drawn in sometimes broken birds or people that have been triggered by it and tried to dim it. It's not worked, so that's why I'm not going to put a full focus of that on this reading, because this isn't what it's about. But what I feel about that is, I feel like you have maybe lost yourself at times and fought to find yourself, and I feel like you know and understand people's triggers and people's woundings, that I just feel that people coming to you, whether it's like as a friendship or as a relationship, I feel like they know that you've had to struggle, and that people have tried to take away your light, and people have tried to take your vulnerability, but you're still there, you're still standing, you're still shining your light out, you're still choosing love. And because of that, that's something that, like, I feel creates a lot of respect for people in your life. And then that is another thing that makes people fall in love with you, because to look at genuinity, like when you look at people, they can be very ignorant when they're looking at animals or looking at Mother Gaia, and they'll look at it and go, oh, well, they're just animals, like, you know what I mean? And they're not intelligent because they can't speak our language, because they don't speak. They do speak, they just don't speak your language, Michael, you know, but they do speak though. So it's like, I feel like sometimes with that genuinity and with that sweetness that you have, people will look at it and be like, oh, well, that person's just like got it all wrong. That person's too sweet. That person's too nurturing. That person's too kind. When in actuality, what's actually formed that light, what's actually formed that purity is you going through a lot of darkness and having to preserve that. You seeing a lot of darkness and choosing not to turn into it, but instead shine your light even more. Not ignore the darkness, but in turn understand the darkness. Because you're not someone that's just walking around like a fluffy cloud. You're coming through like the sun. You have this, again with the Queen of Wands, it's this fire energy. You have this fire, you have this passion. It's light with a very strong purpose. So that's something that makes people fall in love with you, is that they may firstly look, you may have like a water rising, because they may firstly look and be like, oh, they're just very sweet, they're very caring, but the closer they get to you, there's an intensity there. It's more than that. It's like the divine mother energy. It's a very nurturing energy. It's I've been through the ringer and made it back, and I still chose peace, and I still chose love, and I still choose to kill him with kindness. So, you know, I'm actually a warrior, and I feel like the closer people get to you and see that side of you and see, you know what I mean, what made that, I feel like that's what makes people fall in love with you. And I think people fall in love with your story too, because with the Four of Swords being in the middle of the spread here, I just feel like you've really had to, how do I explain this? I feel like you're someone that has the answer for everything. Like, you do have a healing nature that people do fall in love with. But it's like, I don't know whether you've just been through a lot in your life that you can understand people's struggles because you've been through it and found your way out. But it's also, you're able to seep really deep into people's cracks. And I know that may sound weird, but like, listen when I explain, to really shine light on them. And I feel like your own wisdom, your own interchangeable like essence, the way you can go as deep as you need to go and as shallow as you need to go to be able to understand somebody, understand people's outlook. It's like people feel seen with you, people feel touched by you, people feel comforted by you. You, even if sometimes people are triggered by you, it's like you are able to just soothe people and make people feel understood and make people feel safe and make people feel comforted. And that's something that people really, really do love about you, pile number one. It's like it's quite hard to explain, because you may be from that pile where I talk and I'm like, you feel like mist, you feel like a cloud. There was a pile I did and I was like, you feel like Gandalf or like Dumbledore, like you're just like a wise old energy that just, you know, I did a pile where that energy came up. I think it came up twice. So you may be from that pile, like you just hold so much wisdom, and it's like a gentle giant energy. It's like elephants, they're like the biggest like animals and they could cause so much destruction, but they don't choose to. They're very peaceful, very loving animals. And even when we look at the sun and that light force energy, like it provides light and it provides life on this planet, you know what I mean? We need the sun to like literally survive like that, but it also burns. And I feel like you're able to wage a war like that, but it's like you choose love though. You're a very powerful person, you're an alchemist, but you choose love, you choose gentleness. And it's like through that gentleness is passion, like a very fierce passion. It's like such a duality that I'm picking up on. I hope this is making sense. Your power is directed in very beautiful ways. It's what I'm trying to say, like the divine mother nurturing her child. Like it's that sort of thing. Like you seem very level-headed, very emotionally intelligent. You're also someone as well, and I like when I was saying about being just like making people feel understood, you're someone that, so there's like an argument, you're not the type of person to just respond by your own triggered emotions. You're not someone to just respond by your own filtered way of looking at it, like I'm right, you're wrong. Some people are like that dad from Matilda, like I'm right, you're wrong, I'm big, you're small, and feel obligated that the other person needs to listen to them. Whereas you're someone that is very balanced, very like Libra energy coming through, very balanced, and you're like, this is how I'm looking at it and this is how you're looking at it, but we're looking at it from two sides of the coin. There is no argument here. And I think that you help people see things from a higher perspective, and you teach people in that way that's around you. And that's another thing that makes people fall in love with you, because you help people reach an inner peace just by being around them. Just by your own outlook of life, you help people reach that inner peace. Like, say now somebody's upset because somebody said something to them, I feel like you can very articulately explain what that person meant. That person may have a trigger, or that person may be picking up on this and applying this to it, and you're able to look at it from that perspective and be like, oh, so this person meant it in this way, they were triggered by this that you said, I know you didn't mean it in that way, this is the answer, it's in the middle. And I feel like you're able to like bring clarity to things as well, and that's something that makes people fall in love with you. It's like, oh, you okay, like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay. And I think that's something that like touches people as well. You're very deep, you're very, very deep. And when we can tap parts of people that they may have hidden or overwrought with, you know, from their own ego, it's like there's a connection then that is formed. I hope this is making sense, because it's like, well, that person really sees this part of me that somebody else has, and now I feel extra comfortable with this person, or extra aligned with this person, or extra comfortable and part of this person, because they really see me. No one's seen this before. And I think that's something that you do that makes people fall in love with you. I feel like you may have a lot of water in your chart. If you do not, you're just a very, you know, deep person, and I feel like your heart center is very open, your emotional center is very open, and you tap into that with people too, you know. So the card that was actually your card, which I'm going to pull now, I'm going to pull another one of them, but this was the card that I had out when you were picking, and it's harmony. And it says, as I create, I will share harmony divine with love and care. As I create, I will share. It's that mother energy of like, what's mine is yours, and not in a self-sacrificial way. Maybe you've dealt with that in the past, with the Seven of Swords being at the back of the deck. Maybe you have dealt with people seeing your generosity, seeing your light like that, and thinking it was a free-for-all. But I just feel like you're a very, very generous person in your time and your emotions, and like I said, in this world as well, it can become shallow sometimes, and there's games played, and there's what can you do for me, and I don't think you're one of those people. I think that you have a very balanced energy, to the point where it's like, we'll balance each other out. You can do for me, I can do for you, but not in a way of like, how do you make me look? What can you provide for me? And even though then factors that, you know, can be like reasonable, especially like the providing part, it's more so, I just feel like you offer something that not a lot of people want to be vulnerable and put on the table, and for that it feels golden, and for that, that's what people fall in love with, and that's your own authenticity and emotions and depth, you know what I mean? Which I really love. I love that about you. I love that. So that's and as well, harmony divine with love and care. It's like you're able to, are you like a peacekeeper in your friend group, or a peacekeeper in your family? There's just a feeling of that. Like, I see your side of it, I see your side of that. Let's listen to your woundings and where you're hurt. Let's listen to yours, and then let's talk about it, and then let's balance it out and send healing to the middle of it, so we can all be in perfect harmony again. Like, you feel like that type of person, and you may also be in like a job or career field where you do that for people as well, because I do feel that it's somewhat your gift to heal. Yeah, I feel like you're a born healer is what I'm picking up. So let's pull another card. Pile number 1, please, for a guide. What makes people fall in love with my pile ones? We have knowledge. I'm not shocked by that. Let me connect above and below. Let the knowledge of ancestors flow. Love that. Let me connect above and below. See, it's that balanced, as within, so without, as below, as above, so below. That's the saying, isn't it? Yeah, I feel like you've almost mastered duality. And I'm not even going to say that's how you come across, because I can feel it. I feel like you're either mastering it, and the next person who falls in love with you, this is it, or whether you've just had that mastered coming into this incarnation. It's like you're also one of those people as well, where you don't just like jump on like a bandwagon, or it's like you observe, don't absorb. You observe an argument or something, and you really take it in, you know, and really see the yin yang, the dark light, before you just align with one side based off of something you've been told. Like, you have a very, very balanced energy like that. Let the knowledge of ancestors flow. I think you're a born healer as per your lineage. It doesn't have to be lineage in the sense of your ancestors. It could be like soul tribe as well. Other incarnations, you may have worked as a healer. For you to be this balanced in it, I feel like you would have, to be honest with you. I feel as well, do you know, with the lamp as well, it's reminding me of like Aladdin when he makes a wish with the genie. And I feel like you have that kind of like mystical genie, like I said, Dumbledore, Gandalf, mermaid, like you just have that energy. But it's like you teach people that they have that too. Like with that lamp, it's making me feel like, not that you make people's wishes come true, like I have a wand and I'm gonna do this for you. You reflect back the answers to people to show them how they too can become an alchemist and have something that they want. So it's like you answer the prayer, but like I think this is it's reminding me of like a quote I saw when it's like, when people ask the universe for a cake and the universe gives them baking tools, icing, flour, and all the ingredients, and then they get annoyed that the cake isn't there, but they have to use the ingredients. And I think you're very aware that in life you have to kind of co-create with the universe. It's not just going to give you have to co-create, and you have to be aware of little stepping stones to create this manifestation. And I feel like people with the Seven of Swords at the back of the deck, with the light card here, the sun card here, I don't know why I'm calling it the light card, you may be a light worker. I feel like people have seen the potential of what you could have with them, but then expected you to do all the work for them, expected you to make them aware of their own alchemist abilities like you have, or they've expected you to heal their wounds the way that you've healed your own. And that's not how it goes, because you're not somebody's like healer in that sense. I feel like you're one of those people that reflect back what they need to do for them to do it. And I think this has actually protected you in ways and connections where people have like wanted something with you, wanted to like, you know, they've been admired by who you are and what you are and how much you've healed, and they've wanted to stand next to you, but they've almost latched onto you in a sense where they've wanted you to do that work. And when you wouldn't do that work, it's like when you wouldn't self-sacrifice, which you weren't supposed to, it's like they almost got annoyed that they didn't get that and then would maybe cut off or walk away. But that's actually protected you, because the person that you do end up with in this lifetime, whether it's one person or whether you have more than one connection in the future, whatever is the case, they'll see you reflecting those energies back. And just like I was saying about the universe supplying the tools to create that cake, they'll be like, oh, okay, well, let me roll my sleeves up and make this cake as well, like you've done, you know what I mean? Not make the cake for me. I hope this is making sense. I hope you're following. So I feel like that is something that the universe has made sure of with you when it comes to love, that someone's willing to put in the same work that you've done on yourself. I hope that makes sense for you guys. The back of the deck, we have inspiration. Isis, goddess of magic, I ask thee to bring your inspiration to me. Like I said, people fall in love with your story. People fall in love with how you may have met your darkness and transmuted it to light. People fall in love with just the way you speak, the way that you move, the way you're connected to your emotional center. That's what makes people fall in love. You inspire people to be a better version of them, and that's something that people love about you. I feel like you come across as a very great teacher to people. Pile number one. So let's pull some more cards. Pile number one, please, spirit guides. Pile number one. Is it focused? No, we're not focused. Why does it keep doing this to me? I don't know why. I just talk to myself. Okay, we're focused. Pile number one. What makes people fall in love with my pile ones? You feel like you're probably from that pile where I'm like, I think we should be friends, because you feel like I can just tap into your energy very easily and flow through it. And to me, you feel very safe. To me, you feel very genuine. To me, you feel soothing, you know? Like sometimes when I'm trying to I really I could feel the energies coming through, and sometimes I can even have a hard time to put things into words. Whereas it's almost like you guys make me feel at home in your energy to channel, which I really appreciate and really love. I literally, you may be my water pile, because I feel like I'm just flowing through your energy. It's like a crystallized pool that I'm just flowing through. Pile number one. I had a dream of a pool last night. I was in a pool that was also a tent, and I was sitting in it with Softy, my cat, who passed in January, so that was a cute dream. Pile number one. Pile number one. What makes people fall in love with my pile ones? We have creation. I really don't want to, because the writing's italic, I don't want to mess up the name, so I'm not going to say the name. I'm just going to show you because I don't want to mess it up. But the word underneath is creation. And she's got a little mermaid tail here too, which I was talking about you feeling very mystical. When I say creation, what you are is an alchemist. That's what you are. Yeah. When I say creation, that's what you are. You're an alchemist. I'm going to do this. Because it just looks nicer, doesn't it? Pile number one. And I feel as well, you may have people that may have been in your life, and then you, again, because you're very reflective, it's like very empathic energy, like you're a mirror to people sometimes. So I feel like you may have people in your life that may have felt triggered by things you've said, or triggered by how deep you could see them. But then as years later go on, they come back to you and either apologize, or they really appreciate you then, because they understand. Once they've dealt with their wounding and they've transmuted it, they almost feel a little bit indebted to you, like, oh, you really helped me heal that by bringing that up, and I didn't even know what healing was, like, and I didn't even know what was going on at the time, but now I actually understand it. And I feel like that's something that people appreciate about you too. Like, people may sometimes misunderstand you or get the wrong end of the stick, but it's something that you're bringing up for them to transmute. You're bringing it from their subconscious to their conscious wound, and then later on it's like, wow, I really love that person, they really helped me out there, even though I didn't feel like it at the time, but now I actually get it. So there's something about that as well. That card, pile number 1, what makes people fall in love with my pile 1s? We have best pleasure. I feel like you're very good with animals. Like, I'm literally seeing somebody watch you with animals and almost fall for you because of how you react with them. Or it could even be nature, just the way you're gentle and kind to all is something that makes people fall in love with you. With pleasure, I do want to say, you do... Okay, there's 2 things coming up. The first one being, I feel like, again, when people do reach those depths of themselves that they haven't reached before, that can be very daunting, very new, and very intense. So that's something that, them going into the unknown, I feel like you walk in with them there, because we have the cat, and she looks like Cleopatra there, but you know what I mean, like, you walk with them, and I feel like you align with them, you feel like a companion there. But also, I just feel like, I have to be careful with what I say because of YouTube, but like sacral chakra energy, the sensuality energy, I feel like when you connect to somebody deeply like that and you open up to those possibilities with somebody, they're able to connect with you at such a deeper level that sensually wise, I know what you mean, you know what I mean, I know what you mean, you know. So sensually wise, it's like you are able to reach things with them that they may not have had reached before, or create meaning where there might not have been meaning in those areas before, other than just like, oh, it's just pleasure for me. Now it's like, I feel part of you when we are in this act, like, and I think that's another thing that makes people fall in love with you. That's just something that came through. I hope I made it sound right for you to for it to make sense. Pile 1, what makes people fall in love with pile 1s? Marigan, I hope that's right, Marigan. We have rhythm. You're very connected to your own inner cycles. You're very connected to your own shadow and your own light. Again, whereas people would be wary of their shadows, be wary of their own negative emotions that come up, I feel like you express them and feel them and allow them to fall away and then jump back up. And because you do that, because you're aware of your own rhythm and your own cycles, you help people then align with their own rhythm and their own cycles, which is another thing. It's like you help people feel more connected to themselves, so in turn they feel more connected to you, which makes them then fall in love with you. That's what I'm being shown. The back of the deck, we have joy, which again is taking me to that light energy, like that sun energy, which is really coming up here. Like, I just feel like you have so much, you touch things that in people that they may have been afraid of or didn't even know existed. You activate things in people. You know, like the sun can bring out freckles. Like my sister, when she's out in the sun, she gets freckles on her hands, freckles on her cheeks. When I'm out in the sun, it bleaches my hair. Like, you activate things in people, like sunflowers. I have these flowers in my garden. I can't remember the name of them, but they go in like a bud, and then when the sun's out, like as the sun starts coming out, they open up and they look like sunflowers, but they're not sunflowers, they're something else. And then when the sun goes away, they start to close again. At nighttime, they're buds again. It's really interesting to like watch how that happens. And I think that's a very perfect explanation of why, like, what makes people fall in love with you. You shine that light and they are able to open to parts that they haven't even opened up to within themselves. And if they're willing to do the work and stand next to you, I feel like that's who the universe would allow into your circle of like love, in the sense of like romance. I hope that makes sense. So pile number 1, that is what I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. The link to Bianca Tarot's channel is going to be in the description box. You can head over and watch part 2 of the collaboration over there. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what is it that makes people fall in love with you. So you guys chose the rose quartz point. I placed that up in the corner. This card I'm actually going to place down here because I want to start with tarot, and this card is going to start off the oracle side of the reading. So I'm going to leave it down there for a second. I'm going to start with tarot and then we'll move into your oracle cards. Straight away, guys, I do want to say, with you guys choosing the rose quartz, and it's something that is so strong even to happen into your energy, because I'm being shown literal like white doves. I do feel like you are someone that has the ability to bring out people's romantic side even when they're not tapped into that side of themselves, or they don't feel comfortable expressing it. I just feel like you have that kind of nature. You may be very Venusian ruled. You may have a lot of Taurus, a lot of Libra in your chart. You may have Venus in the first house. There's just a lot of that energy coming through. And a lot of the times I do find when people do pick their rose quartz crystal, or if there is energy in regards to that energy and heart space energy, Aphrodite does tend to come through, and her energy is very prominent here. So I do feel that you are someone that you may be a hopeless romantic, or just very open to that side of yourself, or it may be something that you're learning about yourself and like opening up, but there's just something right now though, John, it feels like self-love. Like in your current energy of watching this, it's like a self-love energy, and I think that is what makes people fall in love with you too, because you just have so much love for self and you pour so much into yourself, and or you're maybe learning to right now. And I feel like that's something that other people then almost like follow suit, as within so without sort of energy. So that's something that really does add to people wanting to nurture you and fall in love with you and open up to those sides of themselves, is because you, when you become something, you attract it. And I feel like you already are this energy. You may work with Aphrodite. If you're in Parvati, you may work with Parvati. Like this, I don't know, it's just this beautiful energy coming through. And the doves always symbolize Aphrodite when she comes through. So that's something that I'm picking up on straight away. So pile number 2, please, spirit guides. What makes people fall in love with my pile 2s? I'm hearing Drunk on Love by Rihanna. Pile number 2. I feel like, because I can't, like, the cards aren't coming out really quickly. I feel like people take a while to, like, figure you out or, like, learn you and understand you. There is something about that. So you may find that people in love tend to be a little bit reserved when they do first approach you, because there's almost this energy of, like, waiting in the wings or trying to figure you out first. There's something about that coming through. What makes people fall in love? We have the 9 of Pentacles. You may have dealt with people that have, like, idolized you, put you on a pedestal, and that's not to say that you're not what they project onto you, but it's like when we see something beautiful, there's the people that appreciate it and understand it, take time to understand the story and really value it, and then there are people that just like it because it looks good and want to put it on their shelf. And I think you're aware of this, because I think that you've had people that, I feel like throughout your life, it's that Aphrodite effect of you're going to have people that either respect, love you, want a partnership with you, or are like projecting onto you because it's like, you're beautiful, I want to put, like, it's like a possession instead of a equal person that I want to understand. I feel like you draw in two types of people, because they're both fluttering in the reading, and I'm trying to go to the ladder so I can, like, you know, tap into the people that value you and understand you. And I think that's more so coming through as a message for you guys to go where you're valued, not go where you're valued and understood, and where people take the time to understand, you know, all of the pentacles in this Nine of Pentacles, not just, oh, you're the Nine of Pentacles, I want you. You know what I mean? Go where you're understood and valued and cherished, because there are people that want to do that with you, and there are, if you haven't found that yet, there will be people that want to do that with you, but you may have lost a bit of hope in that right now, I'm being told, because of people's projections are only wanting one thing from you, when you are much more than that. And I think that's where the self-love concept is coming in, because right now you feel very focused on self, which I do love as well, because I feel like you're really pouring into yourself. So we have the Five of Swords. What makes people fall in love with... It's funny, because what makes people fall in love with you is actually entirely different to what makes people like lust after you and idealize you. Because I think you're someone that's actually very stubborn. I think that you're someone, especially who you're becoming, because I'm being told there's a lot of inner work being done. You're someone that can sometimes be a little bit defiant, but not in the way of like, F your rules, like, not in that way. We have the Chariot here as well, but in a way of, you know, I'm hearing you don't own me, I'm not just one of your many toys. I think that's the lyrics. Seven of Cups at the back of the deck. I feel like you're very defiant. I feel like you're someone that's like, oh, you're projecting this onto me, well, I'm the complete opposite. Or you want me to keep my mouth shut and look good for you, well, I'm gonna be very loud. Like, so I feel like there's almost a rawness to you. You're someone that there was a woman the other day, and she was talking with celebrities she's met, and she was referencing different celebrities, and, you know, yes, they're very beautiful and this and that. And when she came to Rihanna, she said, I've never felt anything like I did with Rihanna, because she was talking about like Hollywood people and you know, people that make themselves look perfect all the time. And the thing about Rihanna was, she was this raw beauty. She said, like, it was not just her face and how she looked, it was her aura, it was her attitude, it was the smile, and all these things that you wouldn't expect were the beautiful side of her, if that makes sense. And I feel like I want to explain that to you, because I feel like what actually makes people fall in love with you is your rawness, is your boldness, is your ability to acknowledge your flaws and not how do I explain this, and not be controlled by them and not feel insecure by them. And I hope this makes sense. Like, I don't know whether you've had people that have almost like just wanted you to like sit pretty, or just like be on someone's arm and be used for like one thing and then not have an opinion. Because I'm hearing the song Speechless from Aladdin, where she sings, I won't be silent, you can't keep me quiet, I won't tremble when you try it, all I know is I won't go speechless. So it's like she's like defiant against people that just want her to like not be queen because she's a woman. So it's like there's an energy of that, of like breaking free of a mold. Like, you want to project onto me, well, this is who I am. I'm hearing the song by Demi Lovato, which is called Eat Me, and she's saying, it says, you'll have to take me as I am. And she's like, I know the girl that you adored, well, she's dead, it's time to mourn. Like, I'm not who you want me to be, I'm not gonna like sit pretty the way that you want me to be. Like, there's a feeling of that. What makes people fall in love with you is like, they expect you to be Keira Knightley in the Pirates of the Caribbean, where she's all beautiful in her dresses. But what makes people fall in love with you is that you are the Keira Knightley in Pirates of the Caribbean that like literally turns into a pirate and is like fighting off the man, right? You're that person. Doesn't matter what gender you are that person. There's so much more to you than what people first see of you. And that depth, that understanding, that rawness, that wildness to you is what makes people then fall in love with you, you know? I'm not just going to be what you would like me to be. I'm multi-dimensional. I have so many different aspects to me, and I love them all the same. Like, you will take me as I am and you will take all of me. I'm not just gonna like mold myself into what you are projecting onto me. And that's something that people are like, wow, you know, because you're someone as well that maybe some people have projected or looked at in a way of like, oh, they're gonna keep quiet, they're gonna do as they're told, or they're gonna be cut sweet. And the more they get close to you, I think people realize, no, you're not that person. You take up space. You take up space. You speak your mind. You say what needs to come out. You are one of those people. I said what I said. Maybe you haven't always been, but you're becoming that sort of person. Not in a tyrant way, in a bold and confident way. And that's something, because I keep being shown, I don't know whether you're in a relationship, because this could be something that's already happened and why someone you're with is falling in love with you. Or it could be something in the future where someone almost says something to you and this person's looking and almost projects in a way that you might people please or be quiet, and instead you really stand up for yourself and they really hear a raw. Not in a way, but in just a don't talk to me like that. This is what I mean by that. Or not letting someone walk all over you. And I almost feel like whether it's a partner you have now or someone in the future is going to be like, oh wow, like I did not. Okay, you're not what I was almost even like seeing originally. Like I'm really interested by you now. Like you have so many layers and chapters to you, and there's so much to you, and it's like, wow, you know. So that's something straight away. I feel like you've really had to fight for your Nine of Pentacles. You've had to fight for your abundance. You've had to fight for the person that you are. You really have to had to work for that. Whereas people may look at it and be like, oh, pretty, you just came like that. No, you had to fight for that. You know what I mean? You had to sacrifice certain things for that. You had to become that. You had to go through hard experiences to become that. And there's so many layers to you that the more people understand and see all of that, that's what makes them fall in love with you. 5 of Swords, Chariot. Yeah, it's like you dance to the beat of your own drum. You are very unique and tailored to your own self. Like, you may even feel sometimes that either misunderstood or like you don't fit in. There's so many different sides to you that it's like, I think that's another thing that makes people fall in love with you. The minute they feel that they know you, there's something else to learn about you. Someone could be in your life for 9 years, and then, I don't know why I'm picking up 9 years. Maybe you've been with someone for 9 years, but like, someone could be with you for 9 years and then learn something about you 9 years down the line. It's like, I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you were good at that. And it's like, oh yeah. And it's like, oh wow. And then it's like a whole other side of you comes out. There's so much to you. And I feel like you are somebody that's always working on yourself and changing and analyzing and becoming a better version of yourself, that it's like, wow, I have to keep up with you. Like, wow. And I feel like you help make people a better person and help keep people on their toes, to see life through different angles. And I feel like that's something that makes people fall in love with you. And again, I feel like you challenge people's perceptions. You make people see things in a much broader view. I feel like either person you're with now or someone that you're with in the future is going to almost not, they're going to look at you in one way, and not that they're not going to be interested, but it's like, oh, well, this person's like that. Oh, okay. But then the more they're around you, it's like, and they're seeing your energy, the way you speak, the way your face lights up, the way you stand up for things, your passion, that rawness. And the more they're seeing it, the more it's like, oh, wait, I thought you were like this, and now you're like this. And then they see you another way, and it's like, oh, wait, but you're actually like, and it's like you're constantly shifting that narrative. That's, people are like, wow, there's a lot of depth here, and falling in love with each part of it. And I think that it's quite hard to put into words for you guys, part two, but that's something that I'm having trouble putting into words, because I think that's what people have with you. People have a hard time fully getting it, but it's what people love. Like, you remind me of my cat Padme. She's a tiny little cat. When we first got her, because she's a little girl, and the boys would try and fight her, and I would keep her away. I was like, no, she's, you know, a little girl, leave her alone. She's a baby girl. She's the most feisty out of the two boys. Like, she is so feisty. She's the one that instigates all the fights. She's the one that, like, brings, you know, like, mice and stuff home. She is the one that goes off on adventures, goes into other people's houses and things like that. She's the one that does that. The two boys are scared to do it. She does that, which is funny when I think of the first week I had her and I was treating her like a little delicate flower, and that's not what she is. She is like that, but she's also got another side to her, which is very ferocious, very lioness, and I feel like that's you. People may even come into your life and think, oh, we got to protect this person and nurture this person, and yes, nurture, yes, protect, but also you can do that for yourself too. And for 100 other people, you're that type of person. You hold weight, which I really, really love. Really love that. So let's take a look at your oracle cards. First off, we have beauty. I have a form which is divine. I allow what is within to shine. Love that. I have a form. You may be very physically attractive, and that's what people are drawn to straight away. But again, what makes you attractive is your own rawness and connection to the divine that shines out. It's not something that you could pinpoint. When you see people sometimes, and there's nothing that you could go, oh, well, it's the hair, because then you could put that hair on 5 other people and it just wouldn't have the same effect, because it was never the outfit, it was never, the looks part, it was the energy that made everything shine, right? So that's basically what it is about you. It's the light inside that shines out, that creates this beauty. And it's very hard to dim. People may have tried to dim it, it's not worked. And it hasn't worked because you're resilient. And I'm hearing that song from Ganja Burn, I can wage wars or I come in peace, like Gandhi, because we have the 4 here, which is reminding me of like Uranus energy. And I feel like if destruction is what I have to cause, and when I say destruction, I mean if I have to pull out my shadow and alchemize it, or if I have to speak up for something that may cause triggers, I'm going to do it because my heart is in it. My heart is passionate and in the right place, and I'm going to do it. Like, you're one of those people. You're like, you fight for the underdog, you're like a rebel with a cause sort of thing. It's reminding me of like Harry Potter, and the wizard like war, when he's like, fighting for love at the end of the day, because he wants peace for everyone. It's the same as like the Hunger Games with Katniss. She was like one of the rebels, but she was doing it for a purpose, because she wanted people to live in peace and not be hurt. So it's that sort of energy. And obviously people, if we look at like the Hunger Games there, you'll see the people in the Capitol, and they loved her because she was like a sweet, she was the Mockingjay, she was like loved, and she looked beautiful, and that's what they loved about her. But when she started to stand up for things and her real fierce heart came into play, it was like people almost like didn't like that, specifically in the Capitol. So it's like, you have that like duality, like nature. You're very raw and unique and authentic to you. So let's pull another card. Pile number 2. What makes people fall in love with my pile 2s? We have best possible decision. Artemis, goddess of the bow, helps me see what must be known. See? This is what I mean. It's like, you remind me of like, on first glance, when we look at like spirituality and everyone focuses on the lighter aspect, and that's fine. It's all duality. But it's like, you're here to be like, okay, well, the universe is taking me here to talk about the shadow now, and I know people are going to be scared, and I know people are going to be triggered, but I'm going to dive into it and talk about it. And then people wouldn't expect that from you, because to look at you, they may project that they want you to talk about the light, whereas there's duality, and you have to call out the shadow at the same time. And I feel like you're one of those people that through your own heart and through your own love are able to like go deep into that and reference it and open people up to it and see things that they may feel uncomfortable with. And I feel like you're someone that's really loyal and stands up for people and stands up for what is right. And I think one thing that makes people fall in love with you as well is that you call out people's BS within themselves. Like, I feel like if someone's in the wrong, you'll say it, like, well, that wasn't very right, and you're actually acting out of this right now, I can see. I'm not just going to sugarcoat it for you like you'd want me to. This is what's kind of going on. And you may not have always done that. But I feel like moving forward, that's another thing that people like love about you, is that you're very like moralistic in a way. In a really good way. And I think that's something that people love. And then we have grace, blessing, come to me to set me free. Grace, blessing, come to me to set me free. Yeah, I feel like you may have, again, with that song Speechless from Aladdin, it's like you had to break away maybe from chains that people have tried to keep you in. Maybe in childhood you were taught to do what's right, in the sense of doing what's right for your parents, but then had to sacrifice your own beliefs. Or maybe in relationships you've been taught to kind of be quiet and just kind of do what you were told in ways, or being gaslighted out of your own opinion, whereas you're very bold in that now. It's like you broke free of people's projections on you, people's chains of like people's words that have almost acted as chains at times. You broke free of it to become your authentic self. That's something that people love, but you also help people break out of those chains too. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I love this energy. People feel like they've really got like a friend in you. Like people feel like they've got someone who's loyal in you. People feel like this person, like if this person's in a room with people talking bad about me, this person's going to defend me. This person's going to be loyal to me. This person has a strong heart, and they move with that. And it's fierce. It's not this soft little, no, it's fierce. And I love that. That's what makes me feel safe and empowered. You empower people, and it's like, that's where they tend to fall in love. Oh, let me grab that card. Am I using that card? Yeah. We have Kuan Yin, compassion. Yeah. It's your heart. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's like I want to preserve purity. I want to preserve people's, like, I want people to stand in their own truth. I don't want people to be taken away from that. I don't want that. And it's like you have passion for that. You're a very passionate person, a very vocal person, or whatever it is that you're passionate about, you're vocal about. Yeah. And that makes people fall in love. Because she's holding what looks like a plant here in a vase, just making me think of Mother Gaia in nature. You're also not someone that will just jump on the bandwagon for something at all. Very headstrong. Like, if I wanted someone on my team, it would be you, sort of thing. That's how I'm being made to feel. Like, you're very fierce. Oh, God. Your cards are just, like, jumbling out of my hands. You're very fierce. Pile number 2. What makes people fall in love? Oh, my God. We have 4 cards that have come out. So I'm going to be using the 4 cards because they came out for you guys. So we have Tara, protection. Like I said about you defending people, wanting to protect people, fiercely protecting people, fiercely being loyal to people. And look at all that green around her. And the green in both of these cards here, it's the heart chakra energy. You really love, and there's a rawness to it, and that rawness is where people fall in love. We then have, I don't know how to say this word, so I'm not going to say it only because I don't want to butcher it. I'm just going to show you it, and then I'm going to read the word underneath, which is gratitude. I feel like you really appreciate people and understand people and don't just judge a book by its cover because you've had it done to you. And for that, people really appreciate and do love that about you. I feel like you're also someone as well with the butterflies here. You understand that people can grow. You know, like when you see someone and they may have messed up at one point and, you know, years have gone by and people are still judging that person for it. Whereas you're like, it's been years, and like looking at it, they actually have put in the work. Why are we still punishing them for something they did 6 years ago? Wouldn't they have punished themselves enough? Yes, there are people that don't do the work and stay in that energy, but some people too do genuinely grow. And I feel like you're that type of person where you see things at face value, and I feel like you do understand people in that way. You understand that people can grow. That's why I feel like you kind of champion the underdog sort of thing. And I don't know how to say this word, so I'm not going to say this one either, but we have luck. I'll just show you the word. I just don't like pronouncing things wrong. But we have luck here as well. I feel like everything that you've had, financial abundance with this 9 of Pentacles, your own confidence in yourself, your own depth, your multi-dimensionalness, that's not even a word, but I'm going to say it. You've had to fight for it. You've had to fight for people. You've had to fight for it. You've had to fight for yourself. nothing came free to you. And there's a fierceness because of that. And that's where people really do fall in love. And at the back we have creation with the lotus flower. Like, I feel like you have to go through the eye of the storm to have this inner peace and have this love and have this passion and have your heart so open. That's what's caused this rawness. And yeah, that's what people love about you. I feel like when people know your story, that's when they tend to fall in love. Before people know your story, before people see all of those aspects, they will tend to usually idolize. Or even maybe get triggered. But what makes people fall in love is when they really listen to your story. They see all those parts of you. They see and understand. Because sometimes you can be misunderstood or projected onto. It's your fierce heart that people fall in love with. So that's what I have for you, pal 2. I really hope that you enjoyed. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pal 3, welcome to your reading. So today we are taking a look at what is it that makes people fall in love with you. So you guys chose the amber. I've placed it up in the corner. This is the card that you guys chose. I'm going to put it down the corner because I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move into oracle cards. So that card's going to like start off the oracle side of the reading. So I'm going to start with tarot. So let's get in. Pile number 3, please. Spirit guides, pile number 3. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 3 is the amber pile. What makes people fall in love with you? This morning, because it's the 25th anniversary today of Princess Diana's death, so I just want to say that we love Diana on this channel. We do. And on the TV there was like a news outlet, and there was a guy who used to have a store. I don't know if he still has it, and he was holding up a jumper, and apparently it was one of Diana's favourites of his. And on the back of the jumper it said, "I am a luxury that only a few can afford." And I was just shown that when I tapped into you guys, and apparently she loved that jumper. And I think that's like a testimony to your energy. And it's like there's this feeling coming from you, like, if you don't get me, just go somewhere where you actually get it. Like, the girls that get it, the girls that don't. There's something about that with you, in the sense of like, I'm not going to jump off my pedestal to make you comfortable with my energy. I'm not gonna like coax you in. Like, you either align with me or you don't. And it's not in a negative way, and I feel like I don't even need to explain that to you. I feel like you know that. It's not in a negative way. It's just like, I'm very comfortable with who I am. I'm comfortable with what I have in my life, and I have a lot of value. So if you're going to come into my life, you have to come into my life with value too. You're not just going to take scraps or tiny bits. And I think that's something that really draws people in and makes people fall in love with you. It's like, you're one of a kind, but also you respect yourself. You understand who you are, and you're very like intelligent, in the sense of, you're very emotionally intelligent, in the sense of I can stop speaking to you and keep you out of my life because you're harmful to me, but I also can love you from afar and wish you the best. Like, there's a feeling of being able to separate the two for your own inner peace. And that's something that you've either reached already, or it's something that you'll reach the next time someone comes in and falls in love with you. But that's something that not even just people falls in love with you, people just love that about you. Like, you, and people may project onto you, oh, well, you don't like this person, you hate this person, because I keep hearing, no, I don't. I love that person. I just, you know, they've taken a lot from me, and it hurt, and I love myself. I won't put myself through that again. So I love them. But I can't have them around. And there's a lot of respect for self that really people adore about you. It may frustrate people when they can't get back into the house because it's locked. You've changed the lock, so you've moved away. But it's a respect that people do have about you. yeah, so let's get into the tarot cards. Pile number 3, please, Spirit Guides. What makes people fall in love with my pile 3s? What makes people fall in love with my pile number 3s? So we have the Page of Swords. I'm being shown you being Fiona at the top of the tower, and like, you know when Shrek is like making his way into the castle, and like you see skeletons of people that really tried to get to Fiona, but they weren't cut out for it. Like the dragon had their way with them, they're no longer here, R.I.P. Like there's a feeling of that trying to get to you, that people may feel approaching you, of like they're walking through this scary castle knowing you're at the top and you'll be worth it, otherwise they wouldn't even try, but they're seeing the skeletons and the dragons in the distance and they're like, oh, like there's a feeling of that. There's like a, I don't know, and that's how Spirit's making me feel, that people feel when they're approaching you in that way to potentially fall in love with you, which weeds out the snakes, I'm being told. So you may have quite a very to the point, sometimes it could even come across as frosty demeanor, not because you're like that through and through. It's a protection layer so that people don't just see the beauty that you have and just want to take it. It's like the crown jewels locked away in a safe, guarded with men in big fuzzy hats. Like that's like how you feel. Bear with as I get into it, but that's kind of what I'm being shown. Pile 3, what makes people fall in love with my pile 3s? We have the 3 of Swords. What makes people fall in love with my pile number 3s? We have the 9 of Swords as well. Page of Swords, 3 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 3 of Cups at the back of the deck. Okay, you guys, I think that you're very protective of yourself. Very analytical and aware of who comes through. And I think that you may either be known, or people just genuinely approaching you may feel like you may not like them at first, or you want to, you know, you're almost like suspecting that they may hurt you, so they have to be on their best behavior. And what actually makes people fall in love with you is when they see your vulnerability, when they see your emotions, when they see your heart, when they see you let down your guard, when they see your rawness, sweetness inside. I think that's when people really fall in love with you. It's like you're one of those people that the closer you get to you, the harder it's, you know, someone's coming in with a mask. It's like the sun, the sun is like melting the mask. And I think that that's when people may have like run or just given up. And I feel like when I just feel like there's such a, how to explain it, intensity about you because of how deep you love, how vulnerable you can get. It's like a crab in a way. You may have a lot of Cancer energy, could be Scorpio as well, because I'm just picking up the shell and then something inside of it, like that you may have like a very hard demeanor, but inside it's to protect something that, because you love really deep. I'm not saying you love more than this person or that person, but you really go deep. When you deep, it's like when you love, it's like it, you really go into the ugly, the good, the bad, the ugly, like you really do. And there's so many vulnerable sides to yourself that I feel like you do understand, protect, nurture. It's almost like you look at them like parts of your inner child that you're so protective of and love, and it's like you're protecting and guarding something. It's like, until someone can love these parts of me, they're not coming in. And I feel when people see that and almost see what you're protecting, that's when people fall in love with you. That's the moment that people do. And it may be very hard and triggering sometimes for you specifically, pile 3, to let people in, because it's almost like, you know, when you see like a dog and they're guarding something, it reminds me of my Ollie. Like, he'd have something that he should not have had, and he would like sit on it like a chicken, like sitting on its egg, and he would like act like there was nothing there, and he'd act really cold, and he'd growl if you were going near it, and then you'd like pick him up and look underneath, and it would be like a piece of string or something like that, or a piece of food that you should not have, and he'd be sitting on it and protecting it. So it's almost like, I see, like, this is how they make me feel, like growling, and like, you're not seeing what's under this. And then when people actually see it, it's like, it's that rawness, it's that it's that vulnerability, it's those shadow aspects that you've learned to control, but that you won't let anyone near until you know that they are true. I'm hearing the song by Christina Aguilera from the Mulan movie, Loyal, Brave and True. And I feel like when people finally see it, when people finally see all that you are there, and really see that rawness, that's it. Because similar to Pal 1, so you may have been drawn to Pal 1, you are able to reach parts of people that they haven't been able to tap into before, because of how deep you know yourself. You may have a lot of 8th house placements, you may have a lot of like Plutonian energy in your chart. You're able to go so deep and alchemize it to something else, and go so deep and really touch on things that in the dark that people would be scared of. And I think that because you've gone so deep, you're able to see such vulnerable aspects of yourself, and it's like, I have to like protect this, I have to look after this, I have to like, you know, look after this. I love this side of myself, and I don't want people to hurt it, because you have such a beautiful inner child and such an innocence and such a sweetness, and you know this, and you know the value of it, so you don't want anyone to hurt it. So it's like, I'm going to hold on to this and fiercely protect it. You know what I mean? It's like you're the dragon, and then Fiona is your heart. And when people actually get to the heart, you know, it's like, oh wow, okay, I get it, and then they fall in love. When people really see you. And I think that for someone to really see you, they have to be that deep, and they have to not fear the dark too. So that's why you may have seen people run away, or have a mask but then it melted away, or be cut by the dragon, you know what I mean, or taken away by the dragon. It's like, because they weren't able to reach those depths. And I feel like I want to remind you that there are people out there that can reach those depths, and you are going to meet someone who is able to like get to the top of the tower, you know, in the tallest room, in the tallest part of the castle, like be able to get there and really see you. Because it's funny how, even though we have the Nine of Swords here, it looks like a gate, and then we have the Page of Swords. And when we think of the Page of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck, like it's a quite a new kind of like beginner energy, and he's got his sword in his hand, and he's, you know, ready to take that down. And look at all these swords energies as well. It's like there's so much depth to you, even mentally as well. But I feel like you're someone that may have been wounded in the past, but you went down to those wounds, you pulled those swords out, and now you protect yourself with that. It's like the Strength card, like you tamed the beast, and now you use the beast to kind of like protect you, because you have control over the beast, and you no longer fear it. So you're able to let that vulnerable side out, but let the lion and the beast kind of like protect that sensitive side of you. Hope that's making sense. I want to go deeper, because I want to see more of what makes people fall in love with you. So the card you have is Confidence. By earth and air, water and fire, let my confidence take light, burn higher. I think, and this is just the cherry on top, but your own, you know, like I said, you know who you are, you know what you're worth, you know what you bring to the table, you know your value. Like, you've had to, similar to Pal 2, fight for your own light to still be here. You've had to fight for, you've had to fight to see your own self. You've had to fight to be able to like open your heart out and up and love. You've had to fight for your own innocence. You've had to fight for all of these things. You've had to kind of like go it alone in that sense. And so you know how valuable you are to be able to make that world happen for yourself. I hope this is making sense. You know how valuable you are to lose yourself, come back to yourself, and walk around confidently and not let people knock you off your pedestal. Then you know that journey that you've been on. And you don't need to explain it. You don't need to tell everybody. You just know that. So you walk that way. And because of that, there's this confidence that oozes from you that just can't, I'm hearing the Miley Cyrus song, Can't Be Tamed, that people do love about you. I can't tell that person what, you know, how to dress. I can't tell that person how to speak. I can't tell that person how to move. They're doing it for a reason. And it's like, there's also a mystique about you as well, which isn't necessarily what makes people fall in love with you, but it definitely draws people in. There's an allure in essence. It's like, you know, when you have celebrities and they barely post on Instagram and there's a lot of mystique around them, I feel like you have that, to be honest with you. And I feel like the more I'm reaching your depths, the more I fall in love with you. I see myself in you. You have such a deep intuition as well, like the way you speak. You may have like your Mercury and like a water sign. There's like a feeling of like you being able to, like, with your words, again, you could say words and really hurt people if you wanted to, but also the way you speak, without even realizing it, you can heal people with the words that you say. You may not even speak much, but when you do, it holds weight. Like, you're someone that holds weight, and you know that, and you're learning your value, or you have already learned your value. But there's something very nurturing and very healing in the way that you speak. You bring a lot of reassurance and a lot of empowerment, and you hold a lot of weight in your words. You're able to reach parts of people that need healing just with your voice. You have a really beautiful healing throat chakra in regards to that. You also don't mind about being misunderstood. It's like, that's fine. We also have abundance, goddess of abundance divine. Let me thrive, let fortune be mine. This is what I mean. It's not just physical abundance, though I feel like you would have had to really put in the work for that. But you've also, it's your energy. I have abundance of love that I've reached within myself because I opened up to it. I did the work. I tamed my fears. I did that. And because of that, because you have so much of it, it's a very enriching. And that's what makes people fall in love with you, that enriching part of you. It's like, you're not someone that does something half-assed or put speckles of things. It's like, you know, when you have a flavour and it absolutely drowns out every other flavour because of how potent and how sacred that flavour is. Like, for example, like garlic, right? I'm not saying you're garlic, but you know, when you're making a dish, you put garlic in, people are smelling garlic. When you're cooking, you can taste garlic. It's there, it lingers. You're an energy that is there, it's potent, it lingers. Your words that you say, even when you're not speaking, just the person that you are, it's just there, it's sacred. It's something that people think back to a lot. It's something that people remember a lot, words you've said. And that in itself, it's like, and that may also manifest in the physical, like you wear perfume that lingers, you know, and it stays. There's this perfume by Estee Lauder called Beautiful, I think it is. And it lingers, like it lingers. I'm smelling it for days. So there's something about that, like your words hold weight and they carry on. And that's something, like when you touch people, it leaves a mark. And that's something about you that makes people fall in love with you. The back of the deck, we have harmony. As I create, I will share harmony divine with love and care. Look at the blue, like connected to the throat chakra again. Look at that. As I create, I will share harmony divine with love and care. Super, super nurturing. You leave no stone unturned. It's like the closest, you know, like Icarus, and he flies close to the sun, but then the wings kind of melt and fall. It's almost like that energy. Like, if I want to get close to you, because you're such an alchemist, because you're so intense, I have to alchemize to get that. It's like when you are channeling for spirit, you have to be in a higher vibration to reach a level, and spirit has to, you know, come to that level where you can kind of like meet each other and allow that energy to come through. So it's like that energy then passes through, but some people may not be able to reach that level of a vibration for whatever reason. Maybe they're scared of it. Maybe there's a fear block in it. So it's like you're one of those people that you have to come pure or not at all. So that's why the dragon with Shrek kind of comes in then, where it's like you have to be pure. Because if you look at it, like Shrek was, I know he was like getting her for somebody else, but like Shrek was quite a kind guy in the end. And he had quite pure intentions. As time went on with Fiona, he actually was like the like soulmate, if you want to talk in those terms. So because of that, it's like he ended up with her. Does that make sense? Like, and he was able to see all those sides of her too. you know, that she never really showed anybody else, or maybe she wanted to hide, and she ends up showing them to him, and that's how they fall in love. And he fell in love with her when he realized those sides of her too. So there's that makes people fall in love with you. I hope that makes sense. Love that. So let's pull some more cards. Pile number 3. What makes people fall? I'm holding them upside down. Oh, what makes people fall in love with my pile? What makes people fall in love with my pile 3s? We have self-care. Look at it with the flowers. This reminded me of Isabella from Encanto with the flowers and stuff. Love that. And as well, like when you look at like Isabella from Encanto, she was seen because she was so beautiful, and you know, she came across in that way, and she was the one that had all these perfect gifts, but she's shown at the beginning of the movie to come off a little bit standoffish. But what she's actually protecting and hiding is her own kind of like insecurities and like connection to like her own uniqueness that she kind of has to like shun. And I think when people see that part of you, that's what they love, you know. Love that. So people may project that you're that person creating the flowers and only caring about superficial things, but the closer they get to you, they realize that you're the other version of Isabella from Encanto that loves her herbs and wants to have her, you know, colors. She has like red and blue and green, and it's all messy around her, and she grows like cactuses and things like that. You know the song What Else I Can Do, and she's like doing any other plant but a rose. So it's like people love that of you. And I feel like you preserve that part of you so people don't take advantage of it, or again try to mold themselves into it and get to see those more vulnerable parts of you that they don't deserve to see because they might exploit it. Pile number 3. What makes people fall in love with pile number 3 is we have compassion. Like you can go so deep, like you can go so deep in how deep your love can go. You can see so deeply into people, and I think sometimes you feel so intensely that it's like, for someone to connect to this and for me to bear this part of myself and take that risk, it has to be, you know, there's like booby traps around it. Like you're not just getting in here for free, because that's a lot, and I have a lot to give. And people may think, oh, that person's saying they have a lot to give just because they have this money or they look like this. That's superficial, but it's not actually about that, which I can see here. It's about your rawness. It's reminding me of SZA's song, I think it was Garden, Say It Like That. And she's singing about, she's hoping that the person doesn't find out who she really is or something like that. Something along the lines that song was. Or about domesticity. It's like reminding me of okay, this reminds me of my nana. So she pretends that she doesn't really like animals, right? She has a Scorpio stellium, so I know she has these deep, beautiful emotions that she may not show that often, and she has so much like emotion and depth and love within her, right? And she acts like she doesn't like animals. And I remember telling her I was getting Padme Invader, and she was almost frustrated and angry with me. She's like, oh my god, I can't believe you're doing this. All animals do is bring heartache, because her cat was coming to the end of his life and he was run over, bless his heart. And she was like, all cats do and all animals do, it just brings like sadness and all of this. And she was like, no, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing this. Cut to now, my nan comes into the house and she's like, where's Padme, Vader and Jasper? And she brings them toys and treats. It wasn't that she doesn't like animals at all. She has such love for them that she fears opening up in that way that she might lose them, right? So that's where it's at, because she loves my cats now. She brings them toys all the time and treats, and asks me to send photos and everything. So it was never really that way at all, but it's because of that depth. She really loves really hard like that. And I think that you have that with the domesticity here. And in the back of the deck, we have Ascension. And look at, she's in the water as well. It's like you can go so deep and hold on to purity and hold on to that light and feel such darkness and then transmute it. Like you really do have so much that I feel like that's what people really love about you. Those parts that maybe you've only explored by yourself and wouldn't even think somebody would be able to even reach. It's those parts and those cracks and those foundations and those hideout places in your own energy and you know, vulnerable sides that people will fall in love with and that people do fall in love with. Yeah, so that's what I have for you, pal number 3. That was really interesting. I love that. That's what I have for you, pal number 3. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey, pal 4, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what makes people fall in love with you. So I'm going to start with tarot. This particular card I'm going to place down here because I'm going to use this to kick off your oracle side of the reading. So I'm just going to place this here for now. You guys chose the turquoise crystal. I'm going to place, well, it's already up in the corner, so I'm just going to start with tarot now. And then we'll move on to your oracle cards. So first thing that I got about you is that you are super connected to your inner child, because when I tapped into your energy, I heard Peter Pan, when he's like second star to the right straight onto a morning and like grabbing Wendy's hand and they like fly into Neverland. So there's something about you that connects people to their inner child that makes people fall in love with you. It's like the inner child is really like the pathway to the heart, and the pathway to the heart is the connection to the divine. And I think that you tap people back into that, and I think that's something people really, really love about you. You're also a very creative person, a very expressive person, I'm being told, or at least that's what makes people fall in love with you. You may not be it outwardly, but when people do see that side of you, it's what people love and what people what makes people fall in love with you. Not everything's a party, but I feel like you're someone that makes everything look beautiful. You may have Venus in the 4th house, you know. You may romanticize your life in a way, like you know, renovate your house in ways that brings character to the house, and you make everything look beautiful, or you pay attention to detail. Like I feel like you're the type of person in people's lives, when it's their birthdays, you really make them feel like a queen or a king. Like some Leo energy coming through you, like Venus and Leo energy. You may have that, you may not, it doesn't matter, but you just make people feel good, and I feel like you spoil people and you show love, and it's in a very childlike way of it's like, I could be taken advantage of, but more fool you for taking advantage of me. I'm still gonna love regardless. It's on you if you do that, not me. And I think that you choose to shine regardless. You choose to give regardless. You choose to pour into people regardless. And I think that is what so many people love about you. I think that you very vulnerably show your admiration to people, love to people. And people love that, you know. You're like a champion to people. And I feel like you do brighten up people's day. And that's just straight up coming into your energy. And I think that that's what makes people fall in love with you. And you always just feel like a very good friend when you're in someone's life. Like people kind of trust you in that way. So let's pull some tarot. Pile number 4. What makes people fall in love with my pile 4s? Oh. We have the 9 of Cups. You remind me of, and I've used this terminology before, so you may be from a pile where I've referenced you before. In 13 going on 30, what was her name? Jana. There's like a dance, like a club, and it's really boring and no one's doing anything, and they're all adulting because they are all actually 30 and above. Whereas, yes, she is 30, but she's actually a 13-year-old in the 30-year-old body. So there's an essence of purity and innocence in her that everybody at that party does not have. And the party's getting boring, and the manager's like, come on, we need to like liven it up. What do we do? And she just, without caring what people think, gets in the middle of the dance floor, Michael Jackson's Thriller comes on, and in that iconic multicolored dress, she just starts to do the Thriller dance. And by the end of the song, everybody has joined in. Even the love interest in the movie, he joins in. Everybody joins in and is dancing and doesn't care anymore. And you're that person, I feel. And that's what makes people love you. Like, you make people see beyond, oh, well, I'm too grown for this. I'm, you know, people will judge us for doing this. Like, you're that. It reminds me, like, I remember when I was younger, and we had like a carnival where I live every like June, and people would like dress up, and obviously it got to an age as teenagers where people didn't want to dress up anymore, and me and my friend were like, you know what, we don't care what people think, we're gonna dress up. And we dressed up as Barbie and Cindy, and we had like these, because I was Cindy, I had bright blue tights on, and my friend had bright pink tights on, and we really just like stood out because everyone around us from like school and stuff was just looking at us like, what on earth? But it was like, no, like, it's carnival, like, stop being grown up, just have fun, you know? And I feel like you're that person where you're like, you get people up out of their seats to dance, like, you get people to tap into their inner child. It's like, who said you're too old for Mario Kart? Like, you're one of those people, and I think it nurtures the inner child, and in turn makes people fall in love with you, because it's like, you so authentically do it. It's not an act you're putting on. You're not trying to like people please. It's like, it's part of you. You see life so optimistically, and it's such a beautiful way of looking at life that people then are able to look through your lens and fall in love with life too. Which I really love that. I really love that about you. And I'm being shown dolphins, so you're very connected to your inner child. Pile number, and I think that optimism allows you to reach milestones that other people's ego might pull them away from, like doing career paths that aren't the norm, and not worrying about what people think, because you know that you only have like this one incarnation as the person that you are today to become this, so you're doing it. It's like, you don't care what the naysayers say, because they're not you, and it's not their vision. And I think that you either have achieved or you will achieve like manifestations that may have seemed really out there, but your own optimistic outlook of your inner child got you there. And I think people around you that are close to you, that do end up falling in love with you, tap into that too, and it helps them reach their own manifestations, and in turn that makes them fall in love with you, because it's like, oh my god, you actually have the key to this, wow. And yeah, that's something that has people really fall in love with you. Pile. You're also someone as well that even when people have seen that fun nature of you and maybe not liked it or it's triggered them, you're someone that like, people could have hurt you and you're not walking around like bitching about them or holding grudges. Like, you still walk around and smile. Do you have someone that doesn't particularly like you for whatever reason? You might not even know. They just have a bad energy when they're around you. Like, they may give you dirty looks or something, and you just smile at them. Because I'm being shown something like that. Like, they may just get triggered by your own happiness, and then you just walk past them and they're giving a dig look, and you just smile. Like, I'm not going to give you the energy you want, I'm going to smile at you. And then it's like, oh, why, you know what I mean? And it may like even trigger them more, I don't know, but that's not even your intention. It's just like, you're not making me have a bad day. And it's that as well, because I feel like you may have people from your past that may project onto you, or there may have been like a bad ending, and they may have even done you dirty, but there's no like, you're a bad person. You don't even do that. It's like, well, that was character growth, thank you very much, and you just bloom again. And I feel like I'm hearing that song Don't Stop Me Now. I'm having such a good time. There's like a feeling like that about you, and I think it's reminding me of Elle Woods from Legally Blonde, and her boyfriend's there, and he's like, you got into Harvard Law School, and she's like, what, like it's hard? Like, she just has this innocent optimism of like, yeah, so, and you have that. And even me, like, I'm smiling as I'm speaking, like, you've just lifted the energy. You just have this really sunny, fiery Leo, Aries, Sag, like, and it feels Leo-y because it's like in a child, like 5th house energy, like you have a lot of planets there, but you just lift up a room. That's what you do. You lift up a room, like your vibe, your smile. You have a very beautiful smile too. But you're also someone as well that may say things that people are like, oh my god, I can't believe they've said that. And it's like really funny, like things that people are too scared to say that may be embarrassing to them, and you just say it, and then people are like, oh my god, I can't believe they said that, I'd be so embarrassed to say that. But like, you don't feel the embarrassment of it, because that would mean that it would have control over you, and it doesn't. And it's just fun, it's life, like, let's have fun. Like, you're one of those people. It reminds me of, there's a TV show in the UK called Geordie Shore, which is a remake of Jersey Shore in America. And there's a character on there, well, a person on there called Charlotte. Her name is Charlotte Crosby. And she was like, there wasn't really a main character of the show, but she was the main character of the show. Not because of her being like this, you know, her playing this role. It was her innocence and her funniness and her openness that made people really, really like her and find her funny. And I think that you have that in a way. Like, you just have that sort of essence. I also think you're hilarious. I think that you make people laugh as well. I think when people think back to you as well, it's like, oh, you gotta love that person, because you just bring vibrancy. And people really love that. We have the King of Swords. Pile number 4. What makes people fall? Ace of Pentacles. There's a song by Little Mix and it's called Move. And at the end, they're talking about, like, they say something like, they're saying, like, I know you want to come and dance and, like, move with us, but you're sitting in the corner because, you know, you're scared of what people might think. But they're, like, saying in the song, like, come up and dance and move. Like, so they're kind of, like, trying to coax whoever they're singing to come up and move and dance and stop taking things so seriously. The song's called Move by Little Mix. And I feel like you have that vibe to you where it's like, with this King of Swords, people may not even know how to take you at first or how to approach you, because it's like, what mask do I put on? How do I... And it's like, you're like, no. Like, give me the mask. Let's just throw that on the floor. We don't need that. Let's just, you know, let's just have fun. Like, let's not do all of that. And you know, there's a time and a place for adulting, and that's in the office. We don't need to do that now. We're at a, you know, a party or whatever. Like, let's just be, you know, human and be flawed, and you know what I mean? Don't just stand there and mask. Like, let's all have fun, sort of thing. Not that you will push people out of it, but it's like, you set the standard, which is like light in one light, and then it lights other people's lights just by your one. It's like you light up that part. That's what you have, you know, within your energy. We have the 10 of Swords at the back of the deck. And as well, you know what it is about you? I think people as well may project like, oh, well, you know, that person just sees things in a very, you know, light way, and that's it. But with the 10 of Swords being at the back of the deck, that's clearly not the case, because to be able to see things like that, like to be able to reach high heights and shine like that, you have to know darkness because of duality. The more people shines, the more they've met their darkness. Like, it's a duality. And I know, and I can feel in your energy that there's so many layers to you, that there is depth to you and all of that. And that's why you are so, you know, for people's happiness and enjoying life and being that, you know, tapping into that inner child, because you've had to fight to keep your inner child preserved. So that's why you put that foot forward with it. And I think that the reason you're so open to putting your foot forward with your inner child now, it may not have always been the case, or maybe it has, is because you've learned so much that you're able to also protect your inner child, and you've learned so much to be able to alchemize any swords thrown your way. It's like they boomerang back, because they're not going to take away your shine at all. Like, you're just shining. The shade is not going to hit you at all. You know, you're one of those people, which I love. I really, really love. You also may have a beautiful singing voice, is something that I'm being told as well. That's someone loves someone's singing voice. Yeah, I'm being shown. You may dress vibrantly as well, or you may just wear things that stand out. Or it could just be your vibe and energy that stands out as well. It could be something like that. You also have, and this isn't what makes people fall in love with you, but it's something that people like about you. you have that star power of just the way you dress, the way that you style things, the way that you move, like that. It's tailored to yourself and it shines out, you know. You know, like when I say it's not the outfit or the hairstyle, it's the person and that aura. You have that aura that makes things just like look good, like you'll style it in that way. So I love that. Now we have letting go, allow the wisdom to remain, but the sting I shall never feel again. See, this is what I meant about your depth. Allow the wisdom to remain, but the sting I shall never feel again. You're gonna make me feel insecure about myself. Well, I'll feel into it. Maybe I'll lose myself for a second, but I'll go down. I'll fight for myself, my inner child. I'll transmute this and I'll come back. Now I have the wisdom that I can walk with my inner child and be open with this. But I know when you're projecting onto me and I don't need to take your shade anymore. Now I can shine brighter because the shade that you sent to me that did trigger me and did take me underneath the water to show me where my crack was, I filled in that crack now. There's a lotus flower growing in its place. Now we build. Now we shine out again. You can't take me there again. You know? I've built myself back up. You can't make me insecure about myself. I've already patched that back up. That's what you have. That's what you have. And you have so much wisdom because of that. People may think, oh, well, that person just, you know, isn't taking life seriously. But that's the duality. You do take life seriously. And because you do it, and because you've had to fight for yourself, that's how you're able to tap into those sides of yourself too. You know? Because like I say, in this world as well, we're so money, power, glory, fame, we don't think of the real riches of life, which is our health, which is our hearts, which is our purity, which is Mother Gaia that we're literally walking on. And people that do think of fame, power and all of that, they don't think to those things as being a luxury until they're taken away from them, until they're no longer happy anymore. You know, even though they have all of the gold things that they want, or they don't have their health anymore. It's like, wow, that was actually something I really should have taken care of. And I was making fun of all those people looking after their health and looking after themselves when I maybe should have listened, but I was clowning them and maybe I shouldn't have done that. Like, you have something that people may be like, oh, well, they're just not thinking with a logical mind without realizing you are actually thinking with duality. And they've adulted to a point that they can't find their inner child. And you are holding it all the time because you know it's connected to your heart space, which is really, really beautiful. Let's pull another card. Pile number 4. What makes people fall in love with my pile 4s? We have wisdom on a Wednesday with a waxing moon. Let wisdom come and be renewed. It's funny because this strong inner child essence comes through, but your inner child is like a lot of the times the most wisest being with so much understanding and depth and rawness and beauty. That's what makes people fall in love with you. It's like the way you look at life, there is a meaning to it all. You're not just doing these things for fun. Like, there's a meaning to everything that you do, which sometimes can make it look so simplistic. But this open heart center that you have, I think, you know, that in itself is something that makes people fall in love with you. And it's 7 on here, and I was just looking at the timing, and it's 17. So you may see the number 7 a lot, or 17, or 717. That may be an angel number you see, but that's something coming through. Beautiful. What's the back of the deck? We have beauty at the back of the deck. I have a form which is divine. I allow what is within to shine. That's the thing. It's like I'm not hiding any of these aspects of myself. You know, these aspects you want me to be embarrassed of. These aspects that you want me to hide, that I shouldn't have. I shouldn't be this optimistic. I shouldn't have wishful thinking. I shouldn't see the light in this and that. I already see the dark in it too. But it's duality. I see beyond both, you know. Yes, I have the optimism, but I have the drive and I have the understanding and intelligence to put my physical foot forward to create abundance. And I think people may not think that you have that. And then when people realize the duality within you, that's what makes them fall in love with you. But it's such a... is someone just eating like a spicy sauce, like dipping chips? Because there's this Nando sauce in the UK. It's like lemon and herb. You may have it at other places probably. I know Nando's isn't just UK. Lemon and herb, they're mild, like peri-peri one. That's my favorite sauce of all time, and I just tasted something like that. So I don't know if someone's like eating like a peri-peri sauce, like a sriracha, which I love, again, something saucy someone's just put in their mouth. I just tasted it on my tongue. I was like, oh. And I ran out of my sauce because I was craving spice, and I don't have my order come till Saturday, so I'm like, I can't even go and like take that craving and dip. I have to wait now till Saturday unless I pop to the shop. But there's only specific stores that I've seen it in, so I have to like kind of wait. And I just tasted that on my tongue, which could also relate to you guys being very zesty, like very spicy, like you leave a mark, like you are that distinctive taste that like maybe sometimes people crave. You know, you may be that. I feel like that may be something Spirit was trying to say as well. Look at that, we have resurrection. Yeah, see, you've alchemized a lot of your own fears, pains, shadows, to be able to exist the way that you do. And then people may project, oh, why are they always like, you know, shining their light all the time? And it's like, because they have, it's a share. It's not just something that's just like laying there. They've had to build upon that and fight that. Like, there's such a duality to it, you know? I think people fall in love with your story and how you are, the way that you are. I think people fall in love with your strength. You have a vibe as well. It reminds me of Selena Quintanilla. Oh, she just stood out so much, and her songs, like, I don't like speak Spanish, but I listen to her music a lot because it's not just the words she's singing, it's her vibe, her energy, the way the songs are put together. And it's when you look at like Selena's fashion, like, you know, in the 90s and stuff, like it's imitated today. Like she has such a strong presence in the music industry today. And I think that, you know, that vibe you have too. And she was so fun. Like when you think of like music a lot and you think of like rap and trap and, you know, all of that. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's a meaning for every type of genre. However, the music that she did, like, I never know, I can never say it properly, like Tejano music, I hope I'm saying that correctly. It was so vibrant and fun and colourful, and her dance moves, you know, she spins around in her outfits, like, she's so vibrant and mesmerising, and you're that person. You've got that same flair to you, you know? Pile number 4. What makes people fall in love? What makes people fall in love with my pile 4s? I'm hearing you are my sunshine. Yeah, my release. Release. And she's, look at the stars. We have the star here, what I was just looking at. And then we have the stars here with the fish. It's like you light the way. You know that song, Lights Will Guide You Home and Ignite Your Bones, and I Will Try to Fix You. Like, you have this kind of hopeful nature that reminds other people to hold on to hope, and that's what makes them fall in love with you. You remind people that there's light in the dark. I'm hearing the Jessie Reyes song, Love in the Dark. And she sings, we're only humans floating on a rock, but I think that you are made of stardust. And she talks about how, she sings when the stars are falling down, there's love in the dark. And I think you're one of those people that remind people that there are, you know, when you're having a bad day and people are being mean, and then you just bump into one person that just tells you you're a good person, or, you know, gives you a compliment, or, you know, does something that brings back that faith. You're that person. In the past, you may have had people drawn to you that were broken birds, that were drawn to that fixing nature of you, that healing nature of you, that loving nature of you. I think you're very aware of your own boundaries now, though. But you're that person that, like, goes up to somebody on a night out and is like, you are the best dressed person in this room, and you're like, oh my God, like, you're one of those people. Yeah. Final card, please, Spirit Guides. Pile 4. What makes people fall in love with my pile 4s? We have desire. Inanna, desire. Looks like a phoenix there with the wings. I think that you're someone that goes after what you want. I'm hearing that Selena quote when she sings, know that the impossible is always possible. I remember her saying that because Jennifer Lopez did like a tribute to her, and that was playing at the beginning, and she says the impossible is always possible. As you can tell, I love Selena very much. But yeah, you're one of those people. It's like all those desires you have that, you know, niggling in your heart that wants you to take you there. Guess what? You can do it. And you'll champion people to do that too. You remind people of their light, and that's why people fall in love with you. And we have luck. People may look at you as like lucky charm, lucky star. You kind of like, when you're in people's lives, whether you're there for like a couple of days or hours or months or years, you act like a lightning bolt, like a power thing, like a zzz, like, oh my god, I remember, you're like lightning in a bottle, that people are drawn to, which I think people fall in love with you. And I think people that, you know, may not have been able to handle that light, I think that they think back to you, like people that you've cut off, and they have a love for you as well. I don't know why I'm being called to tell you that, but I am. Like, you're remembered in that way. Yeah, so powerful. That is what I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.